Hello again. As 2016 wraps up, I wanted to share 5 of my favorite games that I played this year. Maybe one of the games on the list is something you've thought about playing, and if so, then I hope this encourages you to give that game a try. Games in this list were not necessarily released in 2016, but instead are games that I played for the first time in 2016. My favorite free game that I played this year was Emily is Away. This chat simulation experience manages to capture the feeling of angst and helplessness of an online friendship that desperately wants to bloom into something more. In a very AOL-inspired chat client, you chat with your friend Emily. You have set numbered responses to pick from when typing with Emily. Once you decide what numbered response you want, you have to type anything into the chat window itself. So for example, if you pick one that says you want to type what's your favorite song, you type 1, but then you actually have to type in on the keyboard and the game fills in the correct response as you're typing. This helps with the immersion of the game, including some awkward backspacing that anyone in an online relationship has felt before. Can Emily be wooed over so that you'll be a happy couple? You'll have to play it for yourself to find out. This game takes about an hour to complete and is well worth it. One of the few games that I've ever paid full price for on launch date is Overwatch. It's been years since I've been this hyped for a game to be released, thanks mostly in part to the few beta weekends that I was able to get into. This team-based shooter is still one of my most regularly played games every week. This game even knocked Team Fortress 2 out of my normal game rotation, and I had over 2,000 hours on that game. Well, that's only partially true. Team Fortress 2 really shot itself in the foot with some of the changes they made to the game, but that's for another video. Regardless, Overwatch is a well-crafted game with a variety of characters to choose from that not only differ in their style of play, but also offer interesting background story. Blizzard wisely offered background stories outside of the game about characters in the form of animated shorts and comics. The in-game dialogue between characters that occurs at random also helps flesh out the characters. Blizzard is doing more than just creating a game. They're building an Overwatch universe to expand upon for several years, similar to what they did with World of Warcraft. I can't wait to see the new characters coming out next year, and I'm sure I'll be playing Overwatch for years to come. Fallout New Vegas. Let's just get this out of the way. I don't like Bethesda games normally. Skyrim? Didn't like it. Oblivion? Hated that one. Fallout 3? It was okay, but it didn't hold my attention. What was so special about New Vegas that it held my interest while the other games couldn't? The world itself is what kept me playing initially. I wanted to see more of what this post-apocalyptic world was hiding from me. Saving the world from dragons is cliche, but saving a gambling town from bandits, then deciding to pick a robot to act as a sheriff? That's interesting. The satisfaction of building a character the way I wanted, which meant full science perks and speech perks to start with, meant that I could resolve a lot of situations the way I wanted to, instead of going in guns blazing, which, to be honest, combat was probably the weakest part of this game. This may have been true of other Bethesda games, but I didn't want to keep playing them to find out as well. Not only did I finish the main campaign, I finished the DLC campaigns as well. The DLC were overall good with the exception of one of them, and you know which one you are. This was a $5 investment for nearly 40 hours of gameplay, and well worth it. Leaving the world behind and deciding to take over a farm was one of the best ideas I've had this year. The farming, dating, mining, crafting popularity simulator known as Stardew Valley lived up to the hype. I went spoiler-free into the game and struggled at first to understand it. Was I supposed to be making money on farming, or was I supposed to be mining for money? Why am I giving people gifts, and what gift does each person want? Once I stopped trying to play the game as a min-max game and just started enjoying the world itself, especially the music, Stardew Valley became almost zen-like. One of my favorite things about this game was just setting my own goals, and for me the end game was getting married. My blueberry farm was making money hand over fist, everyone in town liked me, so it was time for me to settle down. Since everyone knows that Maru is the best waifu, I finally romanced her and we settled down on the farm. I haven't been back to the game since we got married, but for me that was a fine place to end my 40-hour adventure on the farm. I'm not sure if Harvey Birdman got his law degree from St. Piggio Nation School, but if he didn't, he was missing out. There's no finer school for birds, and I found no story more bizarre and intriguing as I did the ones that unraveled in that school and Hateful Boyfriend. I think originally I heard about this game from Dodger on the Cooptional podcast, because there's no way I would have purchased a game called Hateful Boyfriend on the title alone, and my apologies if I'm not saying hateful right, but it sounds right to me. This visual novel is absurd, comical, at times dark, and is like nothing I've ever played before. You control the main character, a human teenage girl attending the birds-only school. You pick which classes to attend, which bird schoolmates to hang out with, and other situational choices. As the story plays out, there are undertones of something sinister going on at the school that are in stark contrast to a game that is in theory just about dating birds. There are multiple paths to take in the game and multiple endings to find. Some are humorous, some are bizarre, some are dark, some are even kind of depressing. I didn't know exactly what to expect from this game, but I'm really glad that I picked it up. I hope you've enjoyed this list. If you liked any of these games or have a suggestion for a similar game that you think I might like, please leave your response in the comments section below.